Shockwaves are spreading in a major diplomatic standoff between Canada and India. Canada says it has credible evidence that the Indian government was involved in the killing of a Sikh separatist leader on Canadian soil last year. Hardeep Singh Najjar was killed in June of 2023 in the Canadian province of British Columbia. Canada says it identified a top Indian diplomat in connection with the killing and expelled him and other Indian officials earlier this week. India has rejected the accusations, expelling Canada's top envoy and 5 others in return. A similar case has now cropped up in the United States, where authorities have accused an Indian national of trying to arrange the killing of a Sikh separatist lawyer who holds both U.S. and Canadian citizenship. Indian officials are due to meet with their U.S. counterparts over the case of Gurpatwant Singh Pannun. DW Washington Correspondent Ines Pohl interviewed Pannun, and here's some of what he had to say.
It is since 2019 when the Indian regime under Modi labeled Khalistan referendum as criminalized Khalistan referendum and labeled me personally as a terrorist, then labeled Hardeep Singh Najjar as a terrorist. This wasn't not a news to me even in 2023 that they are hiring a hitman to kill me, because as we speak today, I have another piece of information that how they are using their proxies now to hire hitmen from the individuals who are from the same community as what we are. I'm not surprised, and I'm not also going to stop, or this is not going to deter me from running my global Khalistan referendum campaign.
DW's Delhi Bureau Chief Sandra Petersman is following this story from India for us. So, Sandra, if you could give us some context, who exactly is Gurpatwant Singh Pannun?
He is one of the main Sikh separatist leaders of the Khalistan movement. The Khalistan movement is essentially trying to carve out an independent Sikh homeland in the northern Indian state of Punjab. And the Khalistan movement used to have a rather violent history in India within the 1980s and 1990s. Today, it is essentially a movement by the Indian Sikh diaspora residing in the US and especially in Canada. And India accuses men like him of fostering and furthering terrorism and separatism on Indian soil. That is why Mr. Pannun, just like killed Mr. Najjar, is a designated terrorist here in India.
Canadian police have accused Indian agents of involvement in homicides, violent acts, and of targeting supporters of the pro-Khalistan movement like Pannun. What exactly are the reactions in India to these allegations?
Well, there is a remarkable difference between the case in the US and the case in Canada, Aaron. While Indian authorities are seemingly cooperating with American authorities in the case of Mr. Pannun, India set up its own commission of inquiry, which is currently traveling in the US. So there is a lot of talking and sharing of information going on. This is absolutely not the case with the Canadian authorities, while India in the US case has hinted that there might be rogue Indian elements involved in the foiled plot against Mr. Pannun. In the Canadian case, they are flatly denying any involvement, while Canada claims that it has irrefutable evidence which has been shared with Indian authorities, namely with India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval over the weekend, while India is saying and maintaining this line that it has not received a shred of evidence from the Canadians. So you really see there is a stark difference here in response. And the bottom line of this really protected diplomatic case is that Canada is actually accusing India of transnational repression while using criminal elements to do so, and India claiming complete innocence, accusing Canada in return of fostering Sikh terrorism and separatism.
Those are truly some strong allegations coming from the Canadian government. So where exactly does this leave relations between Canada and India?
You see, Aaron, currently there is a real deadlock. Those relations have hit a serious dead end as both sides sides have expelled their most senior diplomats. There seems to be no channel of communication at the moment. Interestingly, yesterday at the State Department in the US, the spokesperson there was literally appealing to the Indians, saying they should take the Canadian allegations very seriously, urging them to cooperate with Canadian authorities as well. So further down the line, this could have more global implications as Western democracies like the US, also like Germany, are seeking closer ties, much closer strategic ties with India. But how would that be possible if there is proof, and Canada claims to have that proof, that India is involved in a violent campaign of transnational repression on Canadian soil?
We're going to have to leave it there. That was DW Bureau Chief Sandra Petersmann. Thank you very much for your reporting.